So, we're going with the topic of what I discussed about women cannot live in the same house with each other idea, and also that yay boys and girls, hey boys and girls, hey boys and girls. Also, that I had said that hey no, Mr. Tiny, that I said that I didn't like representatives. Okay, that there's no need for that. Now, okay, and then the other thing that we're connecting with the idea is how we're talking about what needs to be physical for your psychology. Okay, so if I write something down as far as like thinking of a future that I want to build for myself, it does not do me any good to see somebody else um, with what I want to do if it's something that I want to experience for the first time without knowing anything about how that experience is going to turn out. It's not going to do you any good. That's a vicarious experience, which I discussed before. There's no purpose in that. Your psychology, building the structure of your brain does not require that. And as far as like how did I feel on my walk? Well, I like to walk alone. That's what I said. I like to walk alone. Uh, I think that when it comes to how a woman has sculpted herself and what she loves and how she connects with all the passions that she's thought were good ideas for her family is how she's going to connect with her husband. And that is a special. Mr. Tiny, no, sir. Quit barking. That is a special type of couple experience. And so if you're talking about how a. Y'all, please stop. I'm going to have to go outside, okay? No. All right, I'm going to continue outside in the garage. I'm working on these communication skills, okay? So, wherever we left off. Anyway, so a woman is doing all these things. I don't know anybody who would build themselves up to be who they are if they weren't considering their family that they wanted and their mate in their mind. Okay, that's how you run those wheels in your mind. I had this experience growing up, and then you're continuously formulating what you think it would be good to do to become the person that you are. Okay, and then so if so, like you can't have I don't think that you could have those kinds of conversations with your parents because they had a certain of idea that they dreamt up at one point that when they brought you into the world, right? And you may have become a person that they didn't expect you to become, or that whatever it is, that's they would understand that because they became whoever they are, that which is going to be probably different than who their parents were, and so on and so forth, right? You have your things that you care about. Your prerogative or your priority in your life is not to replace or look at other people's dreams as to what they wanted to do with themselves to to gain your navigation system. Now, you can work through your feelings when you look at um, images and things like that, but that is not formulating a plan. That is not anything to do with a plan. That what you want in life is simply about one thing: experience. Experience, experience, experience. If it's only something that you see that you can't engage with or interact with, that's not experience. So that's not never going to be enough for the development of your mind. If you do take in images or you do take in information into your brain that is from external places, you're using that information to figure out how to do things most of the time. Should be most of the time, even if that's about how to get better at being in a relationship or whatever. That's experiential types of things that you're trying to do. And it doesn't, you can, there's never going to be a situation where you're looking at somebody else and thinking that you want to be that person instead of yourself. Whatever you're formulating as your plan is inside of your head. And that's what I'm talking about with the representation of images and ideas and things like that. You shouldn't be doing that as feedback for a person who does not need any of those things. It's like you need to pay attention to what you want for yourself. Always. I'm going to have to think about how to express this more, but I did not like, I like to go on my walks alone, and I've said that plenty of times. I do not like representatives, and I do not like people being nosy about what I'm doing. And the other thing was contemplating, to keep your tongue, what do you call it? Contemplating being a mother. Okay, I'm trying to put my head in that mindset. Contemplating being a mother. You have your emotional things going on with you. The child would have their emotional things going on with them. You have the development of whatever's going on in your mind. That child has the development of whatever's going on in their mind. What kind of walls do you think that need to be put up to make sure there's division between the child and yourself? That's it. When that becomes your everyday experience, how do you decipher between what is healthy for them to know about and what is not? And how do you communicate that effectively? That's like, because a lot of times I think that people being able to observe how you think or how you express yourself helps them to understand humanity in some way. So that's difficult because you don't want that. Also, you're going to have your relationship with your husband, and that needs to be in its own compartmentalized area. And what is able to be revealed in those type of situations? How would you consider what is healthy and what needs to be hidden. That's really, because as I said before, if you start hiding things from other people, then that other person might be prone to start hiding things as well. But also, if you're trying to hide things from other people, that can cause the tendency for you not to be able to develop your mind enough with self talk and these other areas that you need for your own personal development, because you're worried about protecting yourself. And if you're worried too much about protecting yourself, then you're not having the growth that you need to expand your mind. As that's it's always about hide or conceal. It's always about hide or conceal. Okay, so a lot of people do not really need to know about you because that might not serve any purpose, but the people that you live with are going to want to experience love and understanding with you, at least that's on some level. And also, um, you have to figure out a way to come out so that you can become yourself. And locking things away, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. The other thing was that if you don't like the way somebody lives their life, and you pretty much say, I'm not going to tell you what I think about you because it's going to hurt your feelings, then what would you say about that? Like, you're like, okay, well, I've got to keep living my life and following my course of action no matter what. And there's plenty of things that I've witnessed that I think had to be corrected, and that's why I corrected myself. Um and whatever it is that I in my mind am deeming as a good thing is truth to myself. Now, of course, I think that there's a lot of things that could be improved upon, but you know, that's just these are these are subject matters that I think that we could go over in more depth, right? Okay, so why do do you think that parents, hypothetically, would rather their children learn about literature or films or artistic type of practices or games and things like that instead of having the relationship with themselves? The is that only so that they can develop as an individual and you were never supposed to have those kinds of connections with your family? It's like I hate the word supposed to, because I have felt so isolated for my whole, yeah, I can't even tell you how long that feeling has gone on, but the more I develop within myself, the better that I feel, um, in a loving sort of way. But I don't know really, Because a lot of times when I feel like I want to try and be kind and considerate and talkative and things like that, I don't know that I ever like the way that I'm received. And maybe that's just something that you're just like, why don't you think very much of me? Why don't you? Why? Is it just that you don't want me to be dependent on external encouragement? I don't know. I had to take that situation and shine it back on myself when somebody has made something that seems like it was for me. How do I respond to what they have tried to share with me? Do I say that do I seem like I appreciate what they have done, or do I seem like I have been too critical, or what? Do I find do I usually find the part of the equation where I can tell the person cares about me and recognize that that is what the bond is all about? Because you can't go around comparing yourself, trying to get approval about your life, which there's no two people in the entire world who have the same life experience. And I think exactly when I try to think about what is being a sellout, when it comes to your soul, and I mean that in a negative way, a sellout is doing something which you don't want to do, you don't feel good about doing, and you're only doing it because you think somebody wants you to do it. And you have to pay attention to that feeling inside of yourself. Because if you continue down that pathway of doing things that you want to do when you don't feel good about it, and you don't think that that's the way that you should go, then you're not on the pathway to figuring out your true self. There are so many opportunities that you could do with your life and be put into those positions where you can actually shine your heart and your love for what you're putting yourself into, instead of trying to place yourself in a situation because some person has tried to do the comparison thing on you and put you in a position which you didn't want to be in, because you're not that person who thinks that you should be this, have different motivations or whatever it is. You have your own motivations. And those are the motivations that you need to use to build your relationships. I have it really heavy on my mind today about the the what's going on with Rin, and I still have the loving feeling inside of myself, but the way that I feel to the I don't allow myself to replay a bunch of the music and um and get real sucked up into it, because that feeling, it I don't it's it's not a good feeling to me. I don't like that. I don't know how to make it feel more natural. And then it's like I'm pulled in a lot of different directions when it comes to it. I really am. But that's nothing I can ask anybody about. It's like I have to allow myself to sit with the, like questioning if if you put it on a scale, which part of it is bigger, that I want this experience to happen so bad that I'm living in that state of mind, or is it that it's currently fulfilling and satisfying as it is now? Then I'm like, okay, well, how do I know that it's right for me if it's not always like I'm currently feeling happy with the situation instead of over on this other side? But there's my honest thoughts today. I might do a workout video a little bit later, but like I said, every day we're doing emotional, thoughtful expression.